Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Kimbervic, and you're watching interesting TikTok videos. Here, you'll discover a variety of conspiracies and fascinating content that will keep you intrigued. Make sure to stay updated by hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. You don't want to miss what's coming next. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy as we explore the captivating world of TikTok together. Remember, your support empowers me to bring more exciting videos to you. Without further ado, let's dive in and explore the incredible content I have prepared for you today.
Facts that can save your life one day. Every part of a dandelion, from the flower to the stem to the root, is edible. Bring a whistle if you're heading out into the wilderness. Pack a whistle because there's no chance your voice will hold out yelling at the top of your lungs, and whistles carry long distances. And then SOS in Morse code is that. The star symbol on the elevator panel indicates the floor that is the most direct route to outside. If you accidentally disturb a beehive or a wasp nest and are being swarmed, do not run for water. They will wait for you to resurface. Instead, run as fast and as far away as you can. Bees and wasps are territorial and won't easily leave their range. Once you leave their zone, you're pretty much safe. If an alligator is chasing you, you should not run in a zigzag pattern. Do one zig and then run straight. The alligator won't try to follow the zigzag. It will run for you straight and you'll be slower. Do one zig, so it will have to do one zig and then just run in a straight line. If you are in the car, to confirm someone is following you, take 4 right turns. If they follow you around the block, call for help or drive to a busy location or a police station.
Yo, the glitter conspiracy is a rabbit hole you are not ready for. So I didn't know this, but there's legit only like 2 main manufacturers of glitter in the world, both of which are based in New Jersey, of all places. And yes, I'm talking like regular glitter, the same stuff you use in arts and crafts. One of these companies is like super secret and private, that apparently invented glitter themselves and is very hush-hush about everything. And the other is GlitterX. No one really thought much of it until it came out that we actually have a worldwide shortage of glitter back in 2018. Kind of a weird thing to be short of. So a journalist from the New York Times went in to interview the team at GlitterX to find out. She casually asked if she could tour the factory, and surprisingly, GlitterX told her absolutely not. Like, there was no debate about it. She was strictly not allowed to see how glitter was made, and wasn't even allowed to be in a nearby room to even hear how it's made. So instead, she was just left to interview a manager at the company, and things just kept getting sketchier. She asks the manager if she could tell her what industry serves as her biggest market, and the GlitterX rep instantly, without hesitation, tells her, "No, I absolutely cannot tell you." Confused, the journalist asks her if she knows who their biggest customer is, and she replies with, "Oh god, yes, and you would never guess it. Let's just leave it at that." Asking why she can't talk about it, she responds by saying because they don't want anyone to know that it is glitter, and that if you looked at it, you wouldn't even know that it's glitter. The journalist then asks if you'd even be able to see the glitter at all in the finished product, to which the manager replies, "Oh, you'd be able to see something, but it's, yeah, I can't." And this interview single-handedly sparked the great glitter rabbit hole of the internet. Apparently, these clients that purchase glitter are all under a very strict confidentiality clause with GlitterX. They really do not want people to know that their products are made from the sparkly stuff. The industry these products are part of is clearly massive, yet no one knows what it is. So what even is glitter? By definition, it is aluminum metallized polyethylene terephthalate, essentially plastic that has been aluminized and shredded into tiny specks that sparkle. And it's used in a lot of things, from credit cards, passports, currency, football helmets, cosmetics, jet skis, granite countertops, even toothpaste, allegedly. But none of these are quite big enough to be this top industry buyer of glitter. One of the leading theories is that this biggest glitter industry is for boat paint, which many manufacturers do admit they use it in their boats. And they don't want people to know about it because of how much microplastics in the glitter these boats are really dumping into the ocean, which is a hot topic these days and is why they'd want to keep it such a secret. Others claim that it's being dumped into beaches to make the sand sparkle, or that it's just Crest toothpaste and we're rubbing the microplastics directly into our gums, as well as for use in military applications, which would obviously be highly classified, and this is where the theory takes an unexpected turn. Remember that super secret company that basically founded glitter, the other New Jersey company that isn't GlitterX? Turns out they're actually not as big of a secret as they'd like to be, called Meadowbrook Inventions, which was founded by Henry F. Rushman, a German-American machinist who invented modern glitter in the 1930s, and also happened to be part of the Manhattan Project, the highly classified operation that created the atom bomb. So the guy who invented glitter also helped create the world's first nuclear weapon. Who would have known? Meadowbrook's machines that make glitter are also commonly used for government contracts for products like rocket fuel, airplane brake shoes, and anti-radar chaff, which are chopped up fibers they shoot out of military planes that can block radar, redirect heat-seeking missiles, and can even be used to simulate poor weather conditions on radar. Good thing the government would never do that. Henry W. Rushman, the son of the original creator, was interviewed and even admitted to what they were really using glitter for all these years, specifically mentioning money, passports, toothpaste, and all those military applications like that anti-radar chaff, and even mentioned it was used in special batteries they produced for a military contractor called Picatinny Arsenal. Batteries that he claimed produce more electricity than any other battery we've ever known, and was pretty quiet about it after that. If there's anything we've learned about the government, it's that they love spending money, and their budget is essentially endless, especially if it's for the military. And given all these military uses of glitter, as well as its founder's roots in the Manhattan Projects and connection to atomic bombs, this one might be our answer. What other industry could be so secret that the New York Times article described it as CIA levels of obfuscation? How about the CIA itself? Perhaps once again the government is behind it all, using the same sparkly powder found in children's art projects for military applications, fighter jets, rocket fuel, money, and passports. Possibly even some new high-tech super battery they don't want the rest of us to know about. What a plot twist that would be if glitter, of all things, ends up being the government's top secret weapon to control the masses.
You know how they say Hollywood tells you the truth or what they're going to do in movies? Well, it couldn't be more true in this movie, which was in 1997. It's called Conspiracy Theory. And I was not awake in 1997. I am now, and oh my gosh, here is the opening scene to the movie. You might want to go watch it again.
July 8, 1979, all the fathers of Nobel Prize winners were rounded up by United Nations military units, all right? And actually forced at gunpoint to give semen samples in little plastic jars, which are now stored below Rockefeller Center underneath the ice skating rink. Wouldn't want to be there for the thaw. Ugh. I mean, it's disgusting. You know what they put in the water, don't you? Fluoride. Yeah, fluoride. On the pretext that it strengthens your teeth. That's ridiculous. You know what this stuff does to you? It actually weakens your will. Takes away the capacity for free and creative thought and makes you a slave to the snake. You ever wonder about all these militia groups, survivalist type groups from the right-wing side? They say that they're defending the country from the UN troops. These guys are yelling so loud. My theory is, and this is a conspiracy, pal, that they are the UN troops and that they're in place. The infrastructure's ready. It's just remaining complete. When the time comes, they'll just take over. We'll all be toast. Oswald, yeah, Oswald. That's what I said, Oswald. He said, I'm just a patsy, and that means that he didn't do it, right? The one about Arm & Hammer goes to the doctor, and the doctor said, hey, Armin, you've only got 3 minutes to live. And he says, oh my God, that's terrible news. Isn't there anything you can do for me, Doc? 3 minutes. And the doctor says, well, Armin, I can boil you an egg. I guess not. All right. Did you ever see those advertisements like, got milk? You think you're living in a free country? You think this is a democracy? Of course it's not. Websites, newsletters, self-published manifestos, they think we're goose. I mean, George Bush knew what he was saying when he said New World Order. Remember those big little words, New World Order? Well, he was a 33rd degree Mason, you know, and as ex-director of the CIA. He knew that saying that would send conspiratologists everywhere spinning their wheels, and then they destroy their own credibility. I'm sure your heart's in the right place, okay? But, you know, somebody's got to lift the scab, the festering scab that is the baddie. The chip for identification so they can track down an animal anywhere he's at. You'll inserted under the dog's skin, and it's kind of like an identification thing. I mean, it's only a small logical step, so they start putting it in us and our children. And then before we know it, my God, they'll probably come with a precinct. Oh, sure, yeah. Hey, is that one of those new hundreds? You know, where they changed the picture of Ben Franklin? Look at him. Yeah. He looks like the love child of the Fred Mertz and Rosie O'Donnell. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, get rid of him as soon as you can, Randy. Look at it up to the light. You see the metal strip in it? That's a tracking device. You got any more of them? Get rid of it. Exchange it for good. Because they'll follow you. They know where every one of those.
There's a theory that public schools aren't just taking pictures of students, they're feeding a much bigger system that nobody's talking about. Every single year, schools bring in these random third-party companies to take high-definition photos of millions of kids. And when you really stop to think about it, it's kind of strange. Most parents don't question it. We sign a form, send our kid in a clean shirt and everything twice. But if you actually look into who owns some of these companies, that's where people online start freaking out. Because when you follow the money, you don't end up at a small photography studio, you end up at a massive data firm, corporations with investments in facial recognition, AI training, and digital identity systems. And suddenly parents online are like, why does a data company want a perfectly lit, perfectly framed, high-resolution photo of my 7-year-old? Here's where the theory gets unsettling. These companies don't just take the photo, they store it, they process it, some even claim legal ownership of every image they capture. And when parents ask them to delete it, a few have literally said no, because that picture is now part of their system. So people are asking, is this really about school pictures, or are schools quietly helping build the next generation of facial data sets starting with our children? I'm not saying it's true, but with how fast digital surveillance is growing, it's not as far-fetched as you think. Stay weird.
The real truth, you better wake up and find out, has been around you all of your life. You just didn't see it. Example, Abraham Lincoln was elected to Congress in 1846. John Kennedy was elected to Congress 1946. Abe Lincoln was elected president in 1860. John Kennedy was elected president 1960. The names Lincoln and Kennedy both contain 7 letters. Both presidents were particularly concerned with civil rights. Both of the president's wives lost children while living in the White House. Both presidents were shot on a Friday in the head. President Lincoln's secretary was named Miss Kennedy. Kennedy's secretary was named Miss Lincoln. Both were assassinated by Southerners. Both were succeeded by Southerners. Andrew Johnson, who succeeded Lincoln, was born in 1808. Lyndon Johnson, who succeeded Kennedy, was born in 1908. John Wilkes Booth, who assassinated Lincoln, was born in 1839. Lee Harvey Oswald, who assassinated Kennedy, in 1939. Both assassins were known by 3 names: John Wilkes Booth, Lee Harvey Oswald. Both names are comprised of 15 letters. President Lincoln was shot in a theater named Ford. Kennedy was shot in a car named Lincoln, made by Ford. John Wilkes Booth ran to a theater and was caught in a warehouse. Oswald ran from a warehouse and was caught in a theater. Booth and Oswald were both assassinated before they could go to trial. And a week before Lincoln was shot, he was in Monroe, Maryland. A week before Kennedy was shot, he was with Marilyn Monroe.
The truth is hidden in plain sight, and this is how they hide everything. If you are looking for the knowledge that has been hidden from us, if you want to know the meaning behind these symbols, if you want to know who controls the world, this ebook will literally unveil that to you, and ye shall know the truth, and truth shall set you free.
Did you know these are the people who knew too much and were silenced? Michael Jackson, 25th of June, 2009. It said that Michael uncovered secrets about a dark network involving high-ranking politicians and minors. The official version states he died from an overdose while trying to sleep that night. But how credible is that explanation? Barnaby Jack, 25th of July, 2013. This famous hacker shocked the world when, during a conference, he demonstrated how some could manipulate pacemakers to cause clean, undetectable deaths. Just days later, Barnaby was found dead in his apartment. A simple coincidence, or was he silenced for what he knew? Daphne Caruana Galizia, 16th of October, 2017. This investigative journalist exposed secrets about the elites and the controversial Panama Papers. Her research placed her in direct conflict with powerful figures. Shortly afterwards, a bomb in her car ended her life. Is it really just a coincidence that all these people met such fates, or did they uncover something they were never meant to know? But what do you think, Comet Silence? If you want me to keep exposing the hidden truth...
Why did every phone company eliminate removable batteries at the exact same time? That wasn't coincidence, that was coordination. They told us it was for design. Slimmer phones, water resistance, but those were just surface level excuses, because when you could take the battery out, you had real power. You could shut it all down, cut the signal, kill the tracking, stop the eavesdropping, gone, just like that. Now, press power, swipe off, hold the button, doesn't matter. The phone pretends to be off, but it's not. It still listens, still watches, alarms still work, updates still install while you sleep. Airplane mode, just a feel-good toggle. And here's what no one wants to say out loud. Every major brand, every flagship model, switched at once. No choice, no alternative. Because the system needed you to carry it, willingly, everywhere. It became the perfect surveillance tool, not forced into your life, but invited in. It tracks, it listens, it maps your every move.
What's a conspiracy theory that you 1,000% believe in? I'll go.
The conspiracy behind Wayfair. So I remember when this first was going on, a lot of people were all up in the air about it. Some people believed it, some people didn't believe it, and I happen to be one of those people that really didn't believe it. I thought there was no way that this huge corporation would use their website and certain items and certain coupon codes to possibly sex traffic kids. So I really never thought too much into it until one day something happened that actually changed my mind. So this happened about a year ago. So I work for a pretty well-known bank, and I remember we would always have this older lady come in, and anytime she came in, she would always do a cash deposit and immediately do a wire transfer. So one day I got a chance to help her, and I remember she did the cash deposit, which was like $13,000, all in cash, and immediately wanted to do a wire transfer. So when I started to help her, I remember the account number was written down on like a small piece of paper and the amount. So she was sending about 12,900 and like whatever cents to this account number. So I got to the part where I needed to type in who it was going to, and she told me it was going to Wayfair. And at first I really didn't think too much into it because she did have a business account, and I figured, well, maybe she's buying new furniture for her office or whatever. So after we were done, I started to go through her previous wire transactions just to see where all these other wires were going that she did prior. And they were all going to Wayfair. There was like 6 or 7 different wires that she was doing in the past like 60 days. And that's when I changed my mind. I knew that there was no way that this person that is always doing cash deposits and immediately doing a wire transfer afterwards to Wayfair, sending them thousands of dollars in 2 months, was buying furniture. There was no way. And I remember shortly after I reported the account just for like secondary review or whatever. And next thing I know, she never comes in again. I never see her again, ever.
Okay, here's another conspiracy theory. You've seen all the grainy footage of nuclear test blasts that you've
Sure.
with the mushroom clouds, and there are always these grainy things, and there's all these like little houses lined up and these little trees lined up, and it blows everything down. Yeah. Okay, so here's the question, right? So what happened? Okay, so this is great. Okay, you'll love this. So what happened to the camera?
You son of a bitch.
How is that happening yet the camera is like totally stable and fine?
Oh my god!
And by the way, and the film is fine. The radiation didn't cause any damage to the film.
Oh my god!
And by the way, okay, we'll do this one. We'll do the loop one more time here. Where's the? Let's see the car.
The car's right behind the house. It just showed up.
Oh,
okay.
It just showed up.
So wait a minute. First of all,
wasn't there.
First of all, where'd the car come from?
Yeah. No car.
The second is, does it really look like
car?
A real, does that look like a real car?
That's insane.
Is that a house or is that like is that a 12-inch scale model?
What?
Right.
Oh, that does look fake.
There's also the camera didn't move at all either.
You know what it looks like? It looks like the smoke is too big. Watch when it hits. Like the volume, like the size of it, it looks small.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? I mean, it looks like we're looking at something that's like a few inches tall.
If you watch like making of Star Wars, any of the any movies before CGI, whenever they do anything like that, it's always with these tiny models.
Yes. Yeah, this looks fake as shit.
Let's get another one. It's like, okay, what the camera's fine.
That's hilarious.
Oh, this is good.
What if I told you the reason you feel temptations for certain things and certain sins is very specific to what you're supposed to do?
Before continuing, I wanted to warn you guys their phones were being spied on. Click on this icon, then more. If you see it, delete it immediately.
So if you have the urge to smoke or damage your lungs, it's because your voice was made to worship. The enemy's trying to silence you that was meant to praise. If you have crippling self-doubt or insecurity, it's because you're meant to lead and inspire. If you weren't dangerous to darkness, it wouldn't try to mute your confidence. If you have constant distraction and procrastination, it's because you carry strategy, vision, and ideas from heaven. The enemy delays you because he can't stop you, only you can. Now, this one's gonna hit a lot of people. If you have an addiction to lust or pornography, it's because you carry a deep capacity for intimacy, covenant, and healing. Perverting love is how Satan prevents true restoration.
That's true.
Crazy. If you have fear of rejection or abandonment, it's because you carry a spirit of belonging and reconciliation. You were made to gather the outcasts, so he tries to make you feel like one.
Damn.
You have an obsession with appearance or body image. It's because you're meant to reflect God's glory, not the world's standards. So he's gonna try to get you to hate your image.
Damn. Bars though.
If you're drawn to witchcraft, astrology, or manifestation, it's because you have a prophetic gift meant for God's kingdom. The enemy counterfeits your gift to keep you out of alignment. If you struggle with overspending or greed, it's because you're meant to be a kingdom financer. So he wants to keep you broke so he can never bless others.
Follow for more Hoop conspiracy theories.
I would watch for Barron because here's the thing. There's also another book called Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey. Ingersoll Lockwood wrote this book too in the late 1800s, depicting this character.
When they picked those same names.
Yes.
Barron Trump.
Barron Trump. That is a book. Yes. Ingersoll Lockwood wrote both these books. Right?
In the 1800s.
Yes. I believe it was like 1893, 1896, something like that.
Then there has to be time travelers.
Well, here's the thing. In the book, Barron Trump is a time traveler. No bullshit. All this is in the book, you guys. And guess what? So he time travels, right? He has a mentor named Don. This is in the book. So, here's the theory. That Trump actually has some type of time travel technology only because Donald Trump's uncle, John G. Trump, worked for the FBI. Now, when Nikola Tesla died, they sent him in because he's a scientist, he's a physicist, engineer, smart guy. So they're like, hey, go in to Nikola Tesla's, room and decipher all his works and whatnot. Because, Nikola Tesla discovered free energy and a multitude of things, right? So Donald Trump's uncle goes in there and says, we didn't find anything. A bunch of BS. You don't think that Nikola Tesla, who had discovered free energy and manipulated electromagnetism, which had that you can, in theory, bend time, light, and space. This man's works was confiscated by him, and he didn't find anything?
They've been trying to tell you all along, but you never listen. Buzz Aldrin, the famous astronaut who was on the moon, was trying to tell us that the moon landing was fake the whole time. Just watch this video.
What was the scariest moment of the journey?
Scariest? It didn't happen. It could have been scary.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
Because we didn't. go there, and that's the way it happened.
I remember my parents waking me up, and we went down and we watched you guys land on the moon,
No,
which
you
was
didn't. No, you didn't.
what?
You watched animation. So you associated what you saw with...
I have very hazy memory.
Not a bad line. Not a bad line.
There is no such thing as gravitational pull. We lied to you. Maybe this whole operation was never really about reaching the moon. What if the entire mission was just a carefully planned distraction to keep us from paying attention to what's actually happening here on Earth? And this is why...
If these headphones look familiar to you, you might have been involved with a program when you were in elementary school called the GATE program. That is Gifted and Talented Education, and this was really popular in the 80s and 90s. Now, when I was in school, I remember getting hearing tests, which is what a lot of other kids supposedly say they were told and they were taken to the GATE program. It involved a lot of matching items like these, like matching shapes, remembering things to see like how good your memory was. And a lot of people said that they also took a drink beforehand and it was pink and it kind of looked like Pepto-Bismol. Here's a sheet from a girl on TikTok who said this was from the GATE program, and she had to kind of decode and figure out what the message was saying. The theory behind the GATE program was that this wasn't to test your hearing or to put you in a special program or see what type of accelerated learning you would do good in, that it was more done by the government to test if you had some type of psychic ability. And a lot of people think this is where the idea for the show Stranger Things came from, the GATE program, which a lot of people remember happening, but also don't remember too much about the specific testing process. I don't remember being in the GATE program. I remember getting a hearing test. If that was what this was, I have no recollection other than a hearing test.
Have you heard the crazy conspiracy theory that celebrities get mentally frozen at the age that they got famous? These examples will explain a lot. Taylor Swift has confirmed that she is a victim of this conspiracy theory.
You know, there's this thing people say about celebrities that they're frozen at the age they got famous, and that's kind of what happened to me.
Her pathological people-pleasing is definitely a quality of an agreeable, shy teenage girl. The arrested development of celebrities may offer an explanation as to why Leonardo DiCaprio only goes for women under 25. As he got worldwide famous in 1996 when he was 22. His type back then was ingenue, stereotypical supermodels who were his age, and they grew out of that, but he never did. Don't turn 25, baby, you're too sexy. An extreme example could be Michael Jackson, who got famous when he started performing at the age 5. And without getting into the dark side to respect everyone involved, he did admit he bought the Neverland Ranch to be a sanctuary for kids to have a perfect childhood experience that he never got to have because of fame. And maybe he saw himself in those kids. I think there's more to the eternally 12 birthday cake Mariah Carey always has. Selena Gomez got worldwide famous when she was a preteen. Maybe that could explain why she's addicted to middle school drama. Before I tell you the craziest example, for a deeper dive in this theory with these examples and more examples, go check out the video version on YouTube and the audio version for my podcast. The craziest example of this that got me really thinking about this week is when Miranda Cosgrove said she has never drinking before because she's never had a reason to. What a strange thing to say. And she doesn't smoke and will only swear a little bit, but she thinks it's like endearing, like when it's funny when a little kid swears and everyone laughs. Then I got to thinking, oh my god, she's frozen at 5 years old, Drake and Josh. She's frozen at Megan.
The True Name of God in TV Shows Part 3. In this one they show you how they cover up his true name.
Just finding this out now? No one must know. Exodus.
On that document he just shredded was the Father's name, which was replaced with L-O-R-D in all caps in all the newer Bibles. It originally said his name, Yahuwah, which is represented by 4 Hebrew letters, Yod, Hey, Ua, Hey. Yahuwah. If you click on Lord in the Hebrew concordance, it'll take you to H3068, which is his name Yahuwah, which they removed 6,000 times from the Old Covenant alone. This is why we say hallelujah in church It literally means praise Yahuwah or praise Yah. The Father's name is not Jehovah. In the Hebrew concordance for Hova, H1943, it means ruin and destruction. So this can't be his name if we're saying that the Father is ruin and destruction. And they also tell us that the Savior's name, Jesus, comes from Jehovah is salvation, Jesus, which is false because we know that this name is false. The Savior's true name is Yahusha, which means Yahuwah is our salvation. If you click on Jesus in the concordance, it'll take you to H3091. Yahusha, Yod, He, Ua, Shin, Ayin. He came in the Father's name. Yahuwah is the Father's name. The Son's name is Yahusha. They both have Yahu. Messiah said in John 5:43, I have come in my Father's name, and you have not received me, but if someone else comes in his own name, you will receive him. Who came in his own name? The false name, JC. If you click on Jesus in the concordance, it'll take you to root word etymology of Yahusha. It tells us it's a combination of the Father's name, Yahuwah, H3068, and the Hebrew word Yasha. So the Father's name, Yahuwah, and the Hebrew word Yasha, H3467, Yahusha, which means Yahuwah is salvation. Isaiah 43:11, I am Yahuwah, besides me there is no Savior. Letter J in the Hebrew never existed. The J is literally only 500 years old. The Father's name is also literally in our DNA. There are these sulfuric bridges that hold our DNA acids together. And the sequence is 10, 5, 6, 5 repeating. If you substitute Yod He Ua He in the Hebrew Aleph Beit for numbers, you get 10, 5, 6, 5. Yahuwah. Yod He Ua He. 10, 5, 6, 5. Don't believe me? Go fact check it. If you guys want a part 3 on this series, don't forget to like, follow, let me know in the comments if you want a part 3, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
We really glazed over how insanely bonkers it is that a place like Epstein's Island even existed. But what most people don't know is that it wasn't the first of its kind. Decades earlier, in the middle of Lake Michigan, a desolate island owned by a wealthy Detroit socialite became the subject of all sorts of wild conspiracy theories. And at first, a conspiracy theory is exactly what most people thought it was. While on the surface, it was just a summer camp for young boys, teaching them survivalist skills in nature, behind the scenes, these children were being flown to this island to be exploited, filmed, and traded among the men who sponsored the island's operations. The owner of North Fox Island, a man named Frank Sheldon, had purchased the land specifically for this purpose. As a matter of fact, the very first thing he did was built an airstrip on the island as a means to shuttle boys in and out. One of the men who sponsored the island was a former school teacher named Gerald Richards. He and Sheldon ran a nonprofit called Brother Paul's Children Mission. The organization was supposed to help underprivileged youth connect with nature, but upon their plane touching down on the landing strip, the boys would soon realize that that wasn't going to be the case. Now, it's a lot to get into, so much so that we had to make our podcast episode about this in 2 parts, because the owner of the island would eventually flee the country, making it extremely difficult to charge him with any involvement. The story disappeared from the news fairly quickly and was just dismissed as an urban legend. But North Fox Island was just a tiny piece in a much larger picture of child trafficking rings happening around the world. It wouldn't be until the early 2000s that more people began examining the evidence themselves, realizing just how extensive this operation truly was. North Fox Island has also been tied to a series of unsolved child murders committed by an unknown perpetrator known only as the Oakland County Child Killer. It's an awful lot to dive into, but if you're interested, you can check out my 2-part episode on this topic, or I can make a part 2 here.
Now this is scary. You've all heard about the firmament theory. Well, if you haven't, stick around because there's footage. It's a theory that space is fake and no humans can actually leave the atmosphere. In the clip I'm about to show, a plane actually hits the firmament and crashes. Watch the clip. see the side-by-side comparison with the water on the left side of the screen. It's a model plane to show the difference. You notice how the splash of the model plane in the water is very, very similar to how the plane exploded when it touched what we assume is the firmament. It's like an imaginary barrier that you can't cross, like something more powerful rejecting humans. I think it's interesting, but I also think it's very strange. I am currently live streaming these conspiracies. If you want to watch, press my profile.
Welcome campers and cam whores to the Daily Camper week of July 25th, 2010. We have a lot to talk about, so let's get started.
This anonymous web show is one of the most disturbing things that's ever existed on the internet. What I just showed you was a clip from an online program called The Daily Capper. The Daily Capper was a program put on by pedophiles all across the world. And this was the head of a community of people known as cappers. This online community of pedophiles known as cappers would go onto the profiles of underage girls and boys, flatter them with compliments, shower them with praise, and try to get them to flash them so that they could take a screen cap of their nude body. And after that, these pedophiles would then blackmail these children with these images. They would send these photos to friends, family members, schools. And there were all sorts of code words and online forums where these cappers, aka disgusting pedophiles, would meet and exchange information. The Daily Capper itself, this program, was a program put on by these pedophiles to talk about news and events that were happening within this pedophile community. It's really disturbing to me that they chose this because I used to watch the show Crashbox as a child, and I think that it's eerie and haunting that they're actually using imagery from a children's show for this pedophile network. Now, sadly, one of the victims of this capping community was a girl named Amanda Todd. Amanda's story is particularly well known because of the YouTube video she created before she took her own life. But at one point during Amanda's stages of cyberbullying, she was featured repeatedly on the Daily Capper, this program. And the intro always started like this: "Welcome cappers and cam whores." And then at the end, the newscaster up here would say, "Happy hunting," encouraging these pedophiles to go target more children. And they would do awards at the end of the year for the best, most prolific pedophiles in their community. These awards that they gave out included Blackmailer of the Year, Capper of the Year, Cam Whore of the Year, Cam Site of the Year, and Shocker of the Year, where they were basically giving awards to pedophiles and their victims. There's a lot of information online about this whole show and these pedophiles, but something really disturbing to me is the fact that most of the people involved in the Daily Capper were never brought to justice and they were never caught. That means that all of these pedophiles that were celebrating with each other and glorifying their disgusting acts are still out there, probably on the internet today. And to end this, I'm going to show you one more clip from the show, which I find is particularly disturbing.
Candy Beaches returned this week for the first time in a month. The reason they were gone so long is because they said someone called the police on them. Twice. I think I know what this is all about.
Be reported to the cyber police and the state police.
Looks like he wasn't joking around. Maybe it was their Good Morning America interview that prompted cyber police.
Do not, and I repeat, do not proceed with this video unless you are fully ready to give up on the idea that you live here. Because I am about to provide you a step-by-step manual on how you can unlock your brain to the true nature of where you live. And the very first thing you need to realize is that this is a drawing, and they admit that. And a lot of people use this as evidence that we live here. It's called the Blue Marble. And the guy who designed it, Robert Simmons, literally is a data visualizer. So what does that mean? Well, it means that his role is to make imagery from science data. He makes images from data. So the picture that was discreetly programming all our minds because we opened our iPhones and saw it every day was a drawing. And if you don't believe it, here's the evidence. Because they got lazy and they literally hit copy and paste and put the exact same clouds in their drawing. The next step in unlocking your mind is to go to YouTube and just type in stars and notice the computer generated images that they give you. These aren't images. These are literally CGI over and over and over again. Because if you just search stars, they're gonna give you NASA's images.
Well, that's another one in the books, folks. We hope you enjoyed this journey with us today. If you found value and joy, why not share the good vibes by hitting that like button and subscribing to my channel? Your support helps us bring you even more great content and fantastic stories. Don't miss out on our upcoming and exciting videos. Remember, until next time, stay blessed, stay informed, and keep exploring the wonders around you. Want to see more content like this? Subscribe now and join our community. See you in the next video.